Hello there. It's Amy with Just a Little Ink here for my September free online class. I'm hoping that I've got a lot of you joining me. I'm going to wait just a second or two, and then I'm going to go ahead and flip over my camera so that you can see what I'm going to talk through, and then obviously what I'm going to show. And so hopefully you have been following along with me. Please feel free to comment. I'd love to hear reactions, thoughts, answers to things I might ask questions about. And then always, if you're watching this in a replay, I appreciate that. If you're watching this on YouTube, which it will get posted to my YouTube channel, Just a Little Ink. I'm going to go ahead at this point. I'm going to flip over, but I do appreciate you liking my Facebook page as well, and following, as well as subscribing to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. So I'm going to go ahead and flip over here. Okay, I want to kind of give you a heads up. I've got 2 more free online classes this year. The next one will be on October the 24th. It may or may not be alive. We've had to shift some vacation time. And so if it is not live, there will be a video that I have pre-recorded that will be on this channel at 2 p.m. So don't fret, it'll be there. It will be in a similar format of what I have been doing the last few months. And then the next one will be November the 21st, trying to avoid holiday time periods. So, but if you can't catch my free online classes, I am online live here on my Facebook channel, or with again a pre-recorded video every Thursday. And so 2 p.m., same time frame, consistency, trying to be consistent. So anyway, I hope you will join me. I'm going to get that out of my way and talk about a couple specials that are coming before I get into my class. One is that starting on October 1st, there'll be another starter kit special. And it's going to be a value add. So the price of the starter kit is the same, $99, which to be honest is a steal of a deal. And really the best kit you can possibly get from Stampin' Up. And it's a great way to dabble and see how much you love being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Best decision I have made in my creative journey. But it will add another, I believe, $30. So normally it's $125 in product plus the business pieces. But you're going to end up with $155 in free. Well, in product, not free, in product for that $99 that you'll spend, and that is no shipping, so you don't pay for your shipping for this. The other thing to keep in mind is the next special I'm going to talk about is for demonstrators, but, and then for customers in November, but if you sign up, you can choose these online exclusive products in your starter kit. And this is only a sampling of what the new online exclusives will be. There are so many more that we aren't even seeing yet, and demonstrators can order whatever the minimum quantities that Stampin' Up! Allows, beginning, I believe, I have to look on my deal here. I think it may not be October 1st, it might be October 4th. Actually, I think pre-order might be the 1st, but anyway, it won't launch until a few days into November, however. So then I'm going to talk through, I've got kind of a couple things here. What I'm showing is either from our mini catalog, and if you haven't received one, you can look at all the products online. You can actually view the catalog online. It's a wonderful catalog. And I'm also showcasing some of the papers and stamp sets that were online exclusives. They're still active a few months ago. So, but so that you know, that's where the products I'm showing come from. So I'm going to get that out of my way. And then share through. So I've got a noted here my postcode more bold. But what I'm telling, this class is free to watch. However, if you place an online order of at least $35 in my online store, justalittleink.stampinup.net, I will mail to you a project packet of 2 each of the 3 fun fold cards that I'm going to show today in the mail, so that you have everything. It doesn't include stamps, ink, or adhesives, and it won't include the embellishments. So you need to add those. There are very few embellishments that I'm using, but you will receive, what a great way to get started with 6 Christmas cards ready to go. And they do include the envelopes. Going to come like this in a padded envelope, shipped directly to you. And then when you've placed that $35 order, I'm going to email you a PDF of the tutorial. So step by step with a photo, a couple photos and all of these to kind of supplement what I have done here, and it'll allow you then to know all the cutting measurements. They're all written down to go along with, but it won't be printed as I'm showing here. So I'm going to get all this kind of out of my way so that we can get going. So the first card I'm going to share is using a couple things. It's using the Peaceful Season bundle, the stamp set. I'm using on all but the last card. So the first 2 cards I will be using the Peaceful Season stamp set. I'm also using parts of the die set that comes with Peaceful Season. This Christmas die, which I'll have already cut from the glimmer paper in your packet, and then this particular rectangular die I'm also using. And again, all the die cut shapes you're getting included in your packet. Everything is cut. It's just a matter of stepping through, rewatching the video, however you choose. And then I'm also using a couple of the nested essential dies. In this particular card, I'm using the second to the largest. I'm referring to this as a diamond shape. I struggled to know. I was like, okay, it's been that long since I've had school. But we're using that one on the next, on the last card, excuse me, I'm going to be using the rounded rectangle. So I'm going to put this one away. I've already cut all of those pieces. I will need the stamp set for this. So this is the card we're going to be making. And let me grab, actually I wanted these here, so hold on. I'm calling this a floating easel card, and I'm coming at it in this orientation. I have seen some examples where it's sat this way so it could stand. I kind of like that it can sit. And so I'm going to step through how fun and easy. All of these are really easy fun folds. And so I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple of my stamps. Let's see, which one did I use on the inside? I think I used this one. Okay, well, maybe we won't do that just yet. I'm stepping ahead of myself. So what I'm going to do is grab all the parts and pieces so you'll know. So again, it's going to come like this, except you'll have 2 of them, and they'll be sitting in your envelope. And anymore, envelopes are not the cheapest thing, so it's a great add. So what I've got here, let me set this aside. You're going to find in your kit a half a sheet of our garden green cardstock, 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. This is along the 8.5 side, and then at 2 1/8. You're also going to get in your packet a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of basic white for the inside. You're also going to have a piece that is 5 3/8 by 4, and this is in for out of the kind of spacing out a little bit here, the Reindeer Days Designer Series paper. So on the one side are some reindeer. On this side are the beautiful gifts, and I thought it paired really well with this particular set. And then, as I've told you, you've got a couple pieces that have been die cut. This from the Nested Essentials, this one from Peaceful Season. So they're sitting here. And then you're going to find a piece that is 3 inches by 1.5 inches. And it's going to have been scored at 3/4. And then, of course, as I mentioned, a piece of our festive glimmer paper. This is out of the mini catalog, so is the designer series paper. And I have already cut. It's got a piece of our adhesive sheet on the back. I run it through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine with that Christmas die. And it's going to still be on here because that little dot for the eye is easy to get lost. And so it's just easiest if it's all together. And so that is what you're going to find in your kit. And again, 2 of them. And this piece that is by 3 inches, you're going to cut in half. So you're going to put it against the rail at the 3-inch side. And then you're going to come in at 1.5 inches. And so, get here and come in. I find sometimes on these other, if it's less than 1 inch, it's good to go on this side. Otherwise, I find it's easier to come here. And I want my cutting blade. So I've got the darker color. Come across like so, and cut it so that you've got a 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch scored in the middle, and you have 2 of them. So I'm going to set those aside. I won't need my cutting or my paper trimmer at this point. And so I'm going to kind of talk through all the things we need to do. So there's just a teeny bit of stamping, and I find it's almost the easiest. So let's see here. Cut through the 2. Oh, you know what? I am incorrect. I need this for one more thing. So I need to pull my paper trimmer out one more time because I need to cut this paper in half. So at the 4-inch mark, so I've got it against the 4-inch along here, I need to cut it in half so that it line it up at the 2-inch and cut it in half so that I have 2 pieces in this orientation that are cut 2 by 5 3/8. Now I can put my trimmer away. Hopefully you're following along with me. All right. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I am going to fold my paper. I need to fold it in half, and I don't know how well you can see the score marks. So when the bump is up and you can feel it and it's not the groove, that's easy to tell. Here is the groove. Here is the bump. You can kind of see the difference. Get it in an angle where you can see. I'm going to fold it in half. And so I'm going to fold it over. I'm going to grab out my bone folder. And I'm going to fold it over. And get a nice score. And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to fold it again in because I want a mountain fold. So that the front kind of tents, if that makes sense. And then I'm going to flatten it out a little bit because at this point I don't need to do anything with that yet. So I'm going to grab my couple little pieces here. So these are going to get folded over. Almost a little too premature in getting rid of that bone folder. So I'm going to fold this one, and I want to get this other one. I want to fold it. This is going to be my mechanism for that pop-up. So I'm going to grab out my multi-purpose liquid glue. The green tip glue is what I often refer to it as. And I'm going to line up adhesive, and get it flowing here. I'm going to line up adhesive on one side going in about at the center. It's okay if it's not exact. I'm going to come on one side of that fold with the flap coming up right in the middle. I'll get it a little closer to the camera so you can kind of see that it's glued down here. And I've got this top piece kind of flapping. And I'm going to do the opposite of that on the other side. I'd received a swap last year with similar fold, and just really liked recreating something with it. They totally different stamp set, different other things, but it's been a lot of fun to play with. So I've got this one on the opposite side, so you can kind of see where they're butted up against that fold, and then the flaps are here. Okay, so then I want to take my designer series paper, line it up so that they're stacked, and make a complete picture here of what I'm wanting. And you can attach this with either multi-purpose liquid glue. If you do, just have a nice bead just in a little ways from the edge of your cardstock. I'm going to take this one and put it on the top, and it's going to get attached on top of that little tab with an even reveal all the way around. Like so, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I just find having the liquid glue on this just holds it a little better than having flaps that allow it to not be secured all the way around. This designer series paper is just so very cute. So whether you buy the whole suite of products or just the paper, I just did the paper, it's a fun set. So, like so, and then I've got these tabs. It's important that they are still sitting on the outside, okay? So now we're going to work on the inside, which I can go ahead and attach. I'm just going to use my Stampin' seal. I'm not stamping anything on the white. I'm allowing it to be for my message. So I'm just going to go ahead and attach it in the center of the inside of my card. Up. Sometimes it's easier to get that reveal than other times, like so. Okay, so now I'm going to just set this aside while I work on these other two pieces. So what I want to do next is to unattach with, so get the backing off of that adhesive sheet so that I can lift off Christmas. And you just want to just gently pull so you're not undoing more than you wanted to. Get it going here. And then I'm going to leave that dot on my adhesive sheet for the moment. And I'll attach it last. So as I kind of wiggle it off, so how many of you are already working on Christmas cards or other Christmas projects? I was asked this morning if I had started Christmas shopping, which I have, surprisingly enough. Mind you, I have a lot more I need to be probably doing, but I have an idea in my head for Christmas cards. I just haven't worked on my personal cards just yet. Hopefully, I'm giving you some ideas of what you might do. So, okay, pull that off, and then it's ready to get attached in the center of this shape. And so I found it's best to kind of tack on one end, and it allows me to kind of slide it around, get it lined up in the center first. So how are we doing here? I find that it can be a little bit tricky, this die. So let's get it up here, like so. I was hesitant. I was going to buy just the die set for this peaceful season, but I just fell in love with all of it. And it's just a really good value. So then this little dot goes above the eye. There we go. So if that is there, then you can throw this in the trash. If you've got your Christmas in the center, then it's easy to line up the other parts. And so there's a keep stamp, and you could choose other greetings here. If you buy the stamp set, it's got so many options. So I'm going to just line up keep up at the top. Make sure you get my face in here just a teeny bit. I find that this is the best way to work with photopolymer. And then I want the in your heart. There are other options that you could put on here. You could keep Christmas in the air. You could, I think there's some other options with the keep Christmas part. And then there's other, of course, you could say Merry Christmas. So I'm going to line up below the Christmas. And something like about that. I think that's pretty close. And then I like using the H block, and I do say that in my instructions. So then when I press it onto here and lift it off, I've got it ready to go. So I'm going to open up my garden green. It's an old style of our firm foam pad, just same color that we currently have. So yours just will look like our older style. I'm going to ink it up, and I'm going to pull this a little closer to me so that I can see, and kind of get it centered on here like so. Give it a nice firm press, not wiggle, and lift up, and I'll get that cleaned up. I also am going to want, so then this is ready, and then I want to stamp on, clean this. I've got some Simply chamois that I've cut down. That helps me to make sure I've cleaned my stamps easily. And I just leave it out just because it's easier for the moment. So then I'm going to put these away, and I'm going to grab out what I want on the inside, which says, and it's got some options in this one, so you can have it be just for from one person, or you could have it be from a group. And so I'm choosing to have this one say our, but it says love from our home to yours. So I'm going to ink it up again in the same color pad onto this Granny Apple Green, and I'm going to come right in the center here, and again press firmly, and then that one is ready to go on the inside. So I can close up this pad for the moment. We will use it again, but not on this card. So I'm going to put my stamp away. Photopolymer stamps, you want to make sure you put away pretty quickly because they can get lost real easy. They're super sticky, and that just kind of encourages them to get grabbed and used other places, and you'll be wondering where it's at. So I'm going to pull out some Stampin' Dimensionals. Need them for the bottom of this strip. So I'm going to put just a couple of them on here. I want one over here. You just need a couple. Don't need a whole bunch. And I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to stick them on the inside. So open up my stamp or my card, and it depends on how high you want it to come. The higher you go, first and foremost, you have less room to write. The lower you go, the less open this card will be. So I'm going to kind of come up half inch to 3/4 of an inch, somewhere around there, so that it'll kind of grab here. That's the easel part. And then I'm going to open these up. I'm going to flatten down my front. I'm going to open these out, and I'm going to put some multi-purpose liquid glue on both flaps as I kind of hold it down with a finger. So I'm going to come here, have just enough to hold it. I don't want it to be too goopy. Get this out of the way here. And then I'm going to line up, so turn around, have these down. I'm going to line this up so that I've got it split on both sides about the same amount and about the same split from the fold. And then I'm going to press. And then when I lift it up, you'll see that it's attaching on the underside. And so this will be my card. And then I'm going to pull out the Earth Tones Shimmer Gems, which are in our mini catalog. Come with garden green, beige, I think this is pecan pie, and then also an off-white. And so I want to use the garden green, and you could choose to put them wherever you'd like, but I kind of liked one over on this side and then a couple. I'm just using my Take Your Pick tool. It's a must-have. I use my Take Your Pick tool all the time, and it's nice, inexpensive, cost just a couple over here. So I kind of like threes. If you watched my videos, you know that I kind of love the threes. So here is the first card. Super simple, but how cute is that? So we're going to set this one kind of out of the way. You can kind of maybe see it here. And we'll put this away and get ready for card number 2. And hopefully we'll move a little faster. So here is card number 2. This one is super, super fun. It's got a cute little snow globe. This one happens to have a penguin on it. And it's going to just a simple Z fold that opens in and out. But you're going to be surprised at how fun, because this uses the paper. I'm not using the rest of the bundle except for the die cuts to cut out the snow globe. So what you need, you're going to get, again, it's all going to come to you pre-cut. You're going to have a half sheet of Pool Party, 8.5 by 5.5, and then it's been scored at 4 1/4 and 2 1/8. And then you've got some pieces of cardstock. So this is a 5 3/8 by 2 inch piece of basic white. You're also going to need a piece, I think I have a set in here. You're going to want a piece if you're not taking my packet and getting it in the mail, which I'm not sure why you wouldn't do that. I mean, a $35 order is easy to do. But this is 3 1/4 by 3 3/4, so that you can cut out from basic white the dome and the base of the snow globe. So I'm going to set that aside. I've already done that. Then I'm going to kind of move around so I can grab the sheet. So what you will end up with are 2 different snow globes that have been cut out. This is the sheet they're coming from, and so I'm not going to guarantee which ones you'll end up with. They may have a snowman in them, they might have the tree, they might have the cabin, they might have the penguin. Get a little closer. But I'll have cut out 2 of them because, again, you're making 2 of these cards. So I'm kind of get this one out of the way again. So, and 2 pieces, 5 3/8 by 2, that are the Designer Series paper to go on that Z fold. So, and a circle from the Stylish Shapes for our greeting. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to set this in out of the way so that I can show you how fun this card is, and super, super easy. So again, very similar fold. I'm going to fold it in half along that 4 1/4 fold. Grab out my bone folder once again, like so. And then I'm going to fold the front where I've got that 2 1/8 inch score, and I'm going to fold it back on itself so that I create that Z fold. And it's a Z fold because it kind of looks like a Z. So then I'm going to start attaching some things. So I want to attach the snowflake print. Grab out my Stampin' seal. Just get a little bit on the back. And I'm going to lay it on this front piece. And I should have a very small, like about a 1/16 of an inch reveal all the way around. So there we go. Then I'm going to take this print with the houses, and I'm going to do the same thing and do it, just a few pieces of adhesive. And I want to have that same reveal along the sides and top and bottom, like so. And then I want to take and get out my greetings. And so I'm going to set this aside for a moment. I've got the circle and the strip, and I want to add from the same stamp set. So I've got to look and see where I put it. Sometimes that's the fun part, isn't it? So we needed it for this card. So that was making a mess. Okay, so again, from the Peaceful Season, I'm going to use this Peace and Joy stamp. And then I liked this Friends and Family, or the True Gift of Christmas, and so those are the ones I'm going to grab out of here. There's also a greeting that says, thinking of you with warm feelings and a wish for all the merriest, which I think would also fit on here really well. So we're going to grab these two. I've got a B and a C block. I'm going to use Garden Green again. I just think it's a real versatile stamp set. So I'm going to grab out Garden Green. We'll set it up here. And then I'm going to stamp Peace and Joy on the circle. Again, you're going to receive it already cut if you're getting my packet with your online order. Don't forget that host code. That's what lets me know that you are ordering from my class. And I want to put this one on the top portion of the basic white. This is my greeting for the inside. And see how straight I am. The nice thing is you have two sides to paper. I'll say that I used to be told it was magic paper. I kind of like what I've come up with more recently, and that it's like God. He's a God of second chances. And so if you don't like that side, you can turn it over and stamp on the other side. So then I will clean up here. So those are ready to go. We don't need the stamp pad anymore because we're not stamping all these other things. That's where it kind of gets nice that I don't have to worry about. So then I'm going to attach this on the inside. I'm going to set this out of the way for the moment. Stamps like so. And then this is going to come in on this side. There'll be a little wider gap in between the designer paper and the basic white. But I think it looks nice. So I've got it ready to go, except for that top element, which is what it's all about, right? So what I've cut, I told you, you've got your dome from the paper, you have your base from the paper, and then I've cut two pieces of basic white cardstock, again from those dies from Snowy Wonder. So Snowy Wonder has a stamp set, it has a die set, and I keep mine in Stampin' storage cases. That's why they're on the magnetic sheets. They do not come this way. So I've cut out already the dome and then the base, which is on the other side. And there's all kinds of other dies that cut out all the little images in this set. So fun. But I've already cut that out. And I have already cut out the circle from Stylish Shapes. Again, they don't come on these sheets. I've added that. And I've used the second to the smallest of the circles. That's what this particular piece is from. But you will get 2 of those because they'll already have been cut for you. So then I'm going to grab out that multi-purpose liquid glue again, and I'm going to attach my designer papers onto the basic white pieces. So I'm going to put a little adhesive on the back of the dome, a little bit on the base, and I'm going to attach. So, and I did this so that it's for 2 reasons. One, so that it's a little more substantive, so it's a little thicker and easier to fold. The other reason is I didn't want to see the pink on the back. It's not a big deal, but I didn't want to see it. So I'm going to come and line up. At least I thought I was lining up. Here we go. And because mine needs a little trimming, yours should not need trimming. I got a little off when I cut mine. I did verify that I didn't do that to yours. I'm going to trim off the edge a little bit here. So then I'm going to put a little bead of glue along the base of my globe. You can do it either direction. I have used it both ways. Whether I've put the glue on the bottom of the globe and then put it onto my base, or whether I've taken my base and stuck it on top of my globe. Either one works for this. So depending on what you like, that's what you're going to do. But you're going to layer them together so that they come like so. It takes no time at all to get it to attach. Then I'm going to line it up and decide where do I want it on the front of my card. And then I'm going to pull over, and I want to make sure that I'm only putting adhesive on this half. So again, we'll grab my multi-purpose liquid glue, not having it too close to the edge. I want to come up around my finger, and I'm going to come over here, and I like a little more just because it's going to have some movement. So then I find it's easiest to have the card base sitting here kind of looking up. I'm going to pull this base over just so you can see a little easier what I'm doing here. So what I've got is my card base, and I have got it folded, and I'm going to line it up so that I get right about in the center, like so. Press, and then I can adjust whether or not it's straight or not on the other side. I just find it's easier to do it that direction. So I've got it here, okay, and I'm going to get my arm out of the way. I'm going to grab my dimensionals again. I just need 1 or 2 of them. I think 1 of the regulars will work. It's right in the middle. Pull off. You can push with your nail if you've got nails. If you don't have nails, you can take your pick tool or something and poke it. Then I'm going to come up on this upper left of the globe, press that down like so, and then you can take Wink Stella. Do I have Wink Stella sitting here? I do. So you can take Wink Stella and put some glimmery lines for the snow. You could put snow on your trees. Wink Stella is a great ad if you've not used it before. Oh, it's so much fun. It dries super, super fast. You could add more on this side as well, so you don't have to just leave it on the one, but it just, and it doesn't add bulk, That's what I love about Wink Estella. Hard to see on the camera. I will try my best, but it really is difficult to catch the glimmer in this card. Like so. And then, don't want to forget those little gems. And so again, I'm using from the same earth tones, shimmer gems. And this time I'm going to use from the top. These are more of a vanilla or a clear. And so I'm going to again pull out my take your pick tool, and I'm going to just grab a couple of them. So I'm going to go with one of the, I think I did all the smaller ones. So I'm going to come and I'm just going to add them. I liked them on where the snow is. And so I'm just going to kind of come maybe even over here. And then I'm going to put one up. Man, and this one I think I'm going to put it down there. So that is it for card number 2. And again, you'll end up with 2. They won't be the same, just like my 2 cards here are not exactly the same and yet very similar. And so much fun to use the paper in this way. So that is card number 2. So I'm going to set it kind of next to, you'll kind of catch them a little bit in the camera here. So I'm going to put my gems out of the way just one more time, and then we're going to get to card number 3, which I'm excited to share. So card number 3 is using some of those online exclusives. The gold paper, or excuse me, the gold ribbon has been non-orderable, and I'm not sure when it'll be back in stock. So hopefully I don't have to substitute. As long as I have enough, you'll get a piece of that for each of the cards you'll get. You're going to receive, and so this is one that's a Z-fold going the different direction. I kind of liked that, and using the tag that comes with the Greetings of the Season stamp set or bundle, depending on how you purchased or purchase. And then a little bit of heat embossing. And so on this particular card, kind of get it out of the way, you're going to get a piece of, well, 2 pieces, 4 1/4 by 11 inches, and it's been scored at 2 3/4 and at 5 1/2. And then you've got a whole bunch of other pieces here. So let me see what I've got. Pull out from my envelope. So I've got a very vanilla piece, and what I've written down in my measurements is 7 by 3, or excuse me, 2 3/4, and that's enough to be able to cut out both of these pieces. Again, this particular die comes from the Greetings of the Seasons stamp set with all these beautiful fonts that are a builder set, so you can build however you want to word all these things. And then again, I store mine in Stampin' Storage. They don't come on magnetic sheet, but if you do the bundle, you'll end up within these tag dies, which are just so much fun, and I'm using this particular shape. And I had mentioned before, I pulled out from the Nested Essentials dies. That's where this rounded rectangle comes from. So I'm going to pull it out again, just so you'll see. It's from this largest one. Okay, and I've already cut those out. You also are going to want some pieces from the Season of Green and Gold Designer Series paper. It's a specialty paper. It's got a little bit of gold foil accents on some of the pages. The other sides are not. So I've got 3 pieces. 2 of them are cut 4 inches by 2 1/2, and one of them is cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4. Simple, simple. And then I'm going to heat emboss with the Wow metallic embossing powders, and this is the gold, and I'm only going to stamp on one of these to kind of share how. It's easy enough to know how to line up the main one on the tag. I use the May Your Holiday Season Be Filled with Warmth and Cheer, or in Cheerful Celebration. So I'm going to set it aside because I've already done that. We don't need me to stamp it as well. And then, but I did take the Merry and the Christmas, and I want to kind of share with how I did those. So if you buy our additions kit for our heat embossing, you will get a embossing buddy, which is really good to remove any fingerprints. So you want to rub it across to keep your fingers off. You want to rub it across your paper, remove any fingerprints that you might have gotten on there when you were prepping all your projects. Can pull out your Versamark ink. Versamark ink is either a watermark ink or it's wonderful for heat embossing. Mine has been used a few times, which is why it's colored like it is. So I'm going to pull this across and I'm going to ink up my Merry, and I want a little room so I can write, and so I'm going to kind of come in the center like so, and then I can either choose to powder that first or I can come on top of it. It depends on how well you can see what you're stamping, and so I'm going to come with Christmas below it. They're just close enough with all the edges of the photopolymer stamp that it's hard to kind of keep, you can't put them together as easily. You'll have more space between Merry and Christmas. And so, what did I stick? What's right on top here? So I've got my tray, which is the other thing that comes with the additions kit. The other thing that comes with the additions kit is this pair of tweezers that lock automatically. And so they work really well to grip your paper, especially when you're doing something smaller like these tags. So I'm going to open up my powder. I'm going to sprinkle it on top. Just tapped over. Tap it off. Let's see, I maybe tapped a little too much. It might have dried a little more than I wanted it to, and all that talking. Like so. I'll hold it. Then the other thing you've got in here with the kit is this little brush, which will help me then to brush this powder. And I'm going to do that later just because I want to take your time to do that. But I can then open up this tip on the end and push it back into this vial of powder, which is a great option. So I'm just going to get this out of the way. And I would then take my heat tool, heat up, and when I'm done, I'll end up with something here so that you can see that then I've got it. And you're going to just heat it to the point where it is shiny. If you heat too much, you will burn that powder into, I'm going to put this up here and get out of the way. You will burn it into the paper. So that's assembled. Again, super fast. So once you get your things embossed, it's quick assembly. So I'm going to fold this in half. Same process as the previous Z fold, it's just different measurements. So then I'm going to take over here, fold it back on itself, like so. So there is my Z. And instead of opening this way, which you could do, I do believe you have enough. If you wanted it to open this direction, you could. I just liked it here. So I'm going to go ahead and attach my papers. And you see this side's got a little gold on it. This is for the inside. And you could choose to use the gold or the leave background. So I'm going to come in like so. Okay, and then I want to attach my other prints. I'm going to put this one on the inside. And this on the front. And come here. And like so. And then I'm almost ready. I want to take this, and it just needs to be in the center. I'm not lifting it up. I want enough on there to hold it down. This is a perfect card for when you don't want to say a lot. It sounds awful, but I used to have customers who, they kind of liked it when we didn't have things to, and you weren't going to say a whole lot. So you can write your names on here and just, that's who it's from. So then all I need to do is finish with this piece. And so I told you I've got a piece of the trim. This is the gold and silver 1/8 inch trim. It comes in a combo pack with gold and silver. And once it gets back in stock, hopefully, the tags already come with holes. They come that way. So I'm going to line it through. And you could tie this in a knot or in a bow. There should be enough ribbon for you to get it that way. And so I'm going to tie it across. The days that my arthritis is not bothering me, I'm going to do a decent bow. But I have another little tip that Essentials toolkit comes in really handy for. So I'm going to come across and come across. And if you didn't want to take it in a knot, that's when you would use that Essentials kit. You can hold it and have it loop. So I'm going to come across here, come across, and poke it through. Hopefully there's enough there, like so. Then I'm going to have to just finagle my ends. I can kind of loop them around. So are you a person who ties bows? Or are you someone who would rather just have a knot because you don't want to mess with it? So I know both. And some days I'm both. Again, depending on how things are. So you're going to adjust your bow ends and then snip them off just to get a nice end. Okay, like so. And then I'm going to open up or fold out my card. I want to make sure that I'm far enough to cover up here, and you can choose how high up you want to be, but it's wide enough to cover. So I know I want adhesive from about here up, and I'm just going to use my Stampin' seal. You could use the liquid glue. Either one is a great option. But you're going to get it on here like so. Make sure it's centered right to left. And when you do, press it down. The last little bit's going to add those gems again. And this time I'm going to use the beige. I think it coordinates really nicely with the gold. You could use gold ones, but I just like this. And so again, taking out that take your pick tool, I'm going to come across here and just grab a couple of them. So I'm going to grab a larger one, come up here. I'll come and get a smaller one, come off. I kind of like them staggered like that. You could use large or small. You can get quite a few out of this set. And so, like so. And with that, that completes the third of the card. So again, if you spend $35 before shipping and tax in my online store, just a little ink.stampinup.net, the link will be in my description of the video, and I will have a link in this live after I am done with it so that you can place your order. There's also a link to order any and all of the products that I have used to create this directly from my online store. Easy to just click on, yes, I want all, or I only want one or two things. But I will mail you, email you the PDF instructions, and I will send in the mail a packet of 2 each with the envelopes of everything, again, minus stamps, ink, adhesives, and embellishments. So thanks again for joining me. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you again next Thursday for another live. Thanks again for joining me. Have a wonderful day.